Well, hi everyone, and it feels good to be back. Pam and I have been on a break for about a month, and anyway, we're back in the saddle, and we're still here, and we're still going through these crazy times that just show us that you just can't rely on anything. I mean, what we think is stable is not necessarily so. So who knows how this thing will play out, but it's pushing us all in different ways and putting us under pressure. And of course, pressure and stress can be the mother of evolution, or it can be the beginning of a breakdown and going to lower levels of development. So today we're going to, let me tell you a little thing about this. I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, I was, going through my John Dupuy existential stuff, do that a lot. But anyway, I was just wondering, it's like, because a lot of the theoretical stuff and everything that I've been reading and studying, it was just feeling very dry, with the integral and this and that and all good stuff. But why is it feeling like, it just felt very kind of dissociated and not with the normal feeling that I had for it. So I was thinking, well, maybe it's time for a new revelation. Maybe we need some more information. Need something. And okay. So I often do these sorts of things when I pray and meditate, as I pop these big questions to higher power. And the question, do we need another revelation? Is there something I'm missing here? And went into my prayer and meditation, and what came out, the new revelation, was love. Same as it ever was, and that's beautiful. And that doesn't discount all the other information and all the integral and all that stuff. That's all beautiful, and it helps us so much to understand the world and be more compassionate and wiser. And I think a lot of mistakes are being made by well-minded people in trying to shove values down people's throat that they're not ready to hear. They're just not developmentally there. You can't do that. You can't take somebody at a traditional level of a religious evangelical, for example, and not all, but the conservative types, and try to shove all the evidence of science down their throats. They don't ascertain the world through science and evidence. They do it through scripture, through intuition, the myths and stuff like that. And so instead of propelling these people into higher levels of development and understanding, you're actually causing exact opposite, and causing resistance and hardening and getting attitudes that you weren't looking for, just exacerbating the situation. So I think that's we need to remember that everybody needs love, everybody needs respect, and everybody needs to be respected at the level they're at, and that you can't argue somebody out of their current level of development unless they're just ready to, they're at the point they're just ready to move on. They're there, but otherwise it's counterproductive. And so we gotta love. It's like the Beatles said so long ago, all you need is love. And nothing you can do that can't be done, nothing you say or sing that can't be sung, nothing you do, but you can learn how to be you inside. It's easy. It's a lot. So God help us to love one another. And when you get down to it, it is the one thing that makes human existence worth it, worth the journey. So that was one of my little breakthroughs, and maybe not a little breakthrough, big breakthrough I had on my break. And so today we're going to listen to a track that is part of the Stealing Flow Suite by Douglas Prater, our friend and colleague. And this one is called Breakthrough. And I would just ask that in our collective coming together in our prayer and meditation session, that we hold that question, is there a breakthrough? Is there something essential that personally or as a group or as a species, or as human family, as a life form, however you want to draw that circle, we need to be conscious of. Is there any unconscious stuff or stuff that's maybe just on the edge of consciousness that we're not completely welcoming and containing in ourselves? So let's look for that breakthrough, and let's still our minds, and let the thoughts come and arise, and say, hello, thoughts, until there's just that stillness and that pure consciousness, that pure awareness. And that's where it gets really interesting, because at that point, spirit can do whatever it wants, because we've slowed down enough to actually be conscious and be listening. So Vanessa, shall we get this thing rocking? And love you, and we'll be with you on the other side. Well, welcome back from the session. It's wonderful to be here with everyone, and yeah, we are still living in very strange times. And what I suggest for myself and for all of us is that we, depending on our situation, some of us don't have jobs anymore. Some of us, I mean, it's just changed the whole way we live. But if we can make it an opportunity, to cultivate parts of ourselves, to deepen practice, to cultivate the quality of our inner lives. And I've been reading a book called by Hansi Freinacht, and let me see if I have it here. Here we go. And this is part 2, Nordic ideology. And I know that sounds like kind of something, a Nazi pamphlet or something, but it's really not. And basically the point that he's making, Hansi, which is a pseudonym, is that as far as the planet goes right now, probably the most evolved countries are the Nordic countries, Denmark, Sweden, and their brothers and sisters up there. And not that they've reached perfection, but they're just closer to moving from the higher levels of our human capacities. And that is figuring out a system where the Commonwealth is considered and taken care of, and the individual is also considered, and you can't have ultimately all of this way or all of that way. You go too far in either direction and you get some kind of authoritarian, totalitarian mess, whether it's the left or the right. So how do we bring that together and realize that is our responsibility as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, that what we're looking for and what we're aspiring to is the happiness of every individual. And what a noble good thing. Are we making sure each individual has the opportunity. We, not all of us will take the opportunities given us, but make it the capacity to find true deep happiness. And of course, what does that mean? Well, one thing it means for sure is that we have to pay attention to our inner growth and inner development and inner healing as a lifetime proposition. And it doesn't mean you don't have to take care of welfare and deep welfare and environment and all these things. But if we don't have that as a foundation, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's like a stool with 3 arms. You move one of the arms and it's just stable. And how it just falls over. It doesn't work. And no matter how noble and good the ideas of, if it doesn't pay attention to the essential parts of our nature, as in the 4 quadrants that we're always talking about, if you're not paying attention to the inner development, it's just not going to work. And I think we've made incredible progress in exterior development over the last century or so. If you look at the pictures of your great grandparents or something, and look at the technology that they were living with at the time and where we are now, I mean, it's just been an incredible increase. Maybe a noble goal for this next millennia or the next 100 years is not just building quicker, faster technology, but to focus on the interior development and the soulful development and the happiness of every individual. What do we need to do? What needs to be done? What does that include? So, yeah, as we do that, we're going to, we're going to be more loving, that's for sure. And we're going to feel that we're a part of something. And someone once said that ethical and moral behavior is how one behaves when he or she feels that they belong. Okay. So if you belong to your family and you love your family, most of the time, in most situations, you're not going to do things that will hurt or disgrace your family. And the same thing, if you feel connected to your country, you won't do things to hurt your country. And if you feel connected to the planet, the same thing. And it's that sense of belonging, purpose, and connection where we do our individual work to be the persons that we can be, and support all our brothers and sisters in the same journey. So yeah, so thank you again for joining us. And that's what we're about here, is creating tools to facilitate that interior journey of realization and actualization, and hopefully modeling or just letting you know that we're on this journey together. We're not like the squared away people, you need to do this. We're all on this journey, and we're headed there. But it is a collective journey. So WeAwake is an attempt to do that. So invite your friends and neighbors and everything that would like to meditate to join us, and keep up your own work on yourself. And one of the most inspiring things in these very challenging times that we have is the sense that you're actually improving and getting better in whatever capacities you're working on. So if it's in your spirituality, your inner depth, that you're hitting it daily, you're there and you are making progress, and you may be at a plateau for a while, that's soon going to be punctuated by another leap forward, and in whatever skill set you're working on. So remember, we need to work on our bodies, we need to work on our minds, we need to work on our interiors, our wounds, and our shadow stuff, and our soulful tasks that we're given in these lifetime, and also the deep spiritual connection where the many become the one, and then back to the many again. So with that closing thought, we love you. Thank you for being here, and universe and goddess willing, we'll be here again to do it next time. Love you.